Hey everyone, welcome back to another War video. This is War 3 of Season 37 for Loki taking on the League of Extraordinary Champions. So as you can see, I'm on Path 5 to start here. I have Nick Fury, Colossus, and White Magneto. This first fight is going to be Void on Node 2, which is Ebb Flow Knockdown and Debuff Immunity and Force of Will. So whenever I knock him down, I get a passive Fury, but he also goes Debuff Immune. So you can see I kind of vary between allowing the passive Fury to give me a little more attack and then just trying to let the bleed damage do some work too. The Ebb Flow protection is substantial. It's a 60% reduction, but Nick Fury has a high enough attack rating that he can make up for that. But you can see I am kind of varying it up as the fight goes along. Biggest thing with Void is really just trying to count those multiples of 10 so that I can make sure to purify his debuffs at the right time so I'm not taking too much of his Void intimidating presence damage. You can see here I have a Petrify on me. It's ticking down a little bit. It's nothing too crazy. The issue is really if you let a couple of them stack, that's when it can really start to get out of control. But you can see, Nick Fury melting down this fight pretty well. It hasn't been anything too crazy. So just trying to, should be like one or two more combos here to get this done. Not trying to punish the special one because, unless you do the dash in thing and stand there, it can always be a little bit dangerous to do that. So I'm not trying to do anything in war. Worst thing that happens here is I just need to pop a potion or something. But you can see special 2 finishes him off there. Nothing too difficult with that fight. So this next fight is the very next node, Node 11. I think everybody's already getting sick of watching Nick Fury fight Mordo. This one's going to be a little bit of a longer fight. So this is still the Ebb Flow knockdown. But with this, since he's a conduit defender, I don't want to knock him down. So I am not going to knock him down at all in this fight. So the entirety of the fight, I'm going to have basically a minus 60% attack. So it's my same strategy that I've had for Mordo for the previous 2 wars that you've seen, just trying to let those light ending 5 combo bleeds do some work. Trying to manage his power. I did pop an invulnerability boost again, just to make sure that nothing will get too out of control. So you can see he also has a little bit of MD, so all of those dexes that I'm doing, I'm just feeding his power a little bit, but this Mordo is actually relatively loose with his specials. Obviously, he's throwing a special 3 here, but that's nothing too crazy. A fight against Mordo where I don't have any way to power control, I'm always going to expect him to throw at least 1 special 3. But all things considered, he was pretty loose with his specials. So I appreciated that. You can also tell I did the same thing as the previous 2 wars. I placed a White Magneto pre-fight on him, make sure that I could always reliably parry and punish his parry. Right there, I kind of forgot about Heavy Hitter, I guess, so that kind of took out the rest of my invuln. Heavy Hitter, he goes unstoppable. If he's unstoppable and you try and hit him, turns out it doesn't go so well. But, Mordo's not the heaviest hitter in the game, so, it did a little bit of damage. Worst thing it's going to cost me is a potion or 2, so it's nothing too wild. After that, this is where he, like I said earlier, he really got loose with his specials, which was very nice, especially after I had lost that invulnerability safety net. Like right there, he normally always turtles up as soon as he gets the power gain, but he actually immediately threw a special 1. From here, it's just more of the same light ending combos, nothing too crazy, and that was that. So first 2 fights, Nick Fury handled pretty well. So that's it for section 1. After that, I'm going to move on to section 2 here. I'm on path 4, so it's the steady build up unblockable. Basically, if you get too many debuffs, if you get 3 debuffs on you, they go unblockable until you can purify them. So I have SpiderHam here, who can always be a little annoying. Best thing about SpiderHam is he has an insanely small health pool. So you can see, 2 combos in, he's already lost 40% of his health. The biggest thing to worry about for SpiderHam is the spider nonsense. So the best way to deal with that is just throw your special 1 as soon as you get it. You do that, like you can see that last time, it was twofold for me. I was able to purify the debuffs and also not let him get a spider nonsense. So this time he does get 1 spider nonsense, but I'm also above 5 tack charges, so he can't evade even if he wants to right now. But that was a It was a pretty good melt job by Nick Fury with those bleeds just really ticking him down. So this next fight is the very next fight on the path. It is Havoc on node 36. I'm going to use Colossus. This has heal block and crumbling armor. I did pop in a vulnerability boost, as you can see, I promptly lost it. It's one of my favorite things in this game is when you pop in invulnerability boost and then immediately lose it less than 5 seconds into the fight. So that was a lot of fun. In general, I do really like Colossus for this node, for this particular interaction with Havok. Obviously, Havok, the big thing with him is, he's got those plasma debuffs, or if he gets too many of them, he can detonate, and that can be really brutal damage. But if you have an armor up, then it's not as big of a deal. So for this node, I'm just trying to hold my block to kind of bait out heavies and push him to special 2, because that's the best way to make sure that he doesn't put a plasma debuff on me, because if he heavies, he converts the plasma into prowess. Same thing with the special 2. So it's a little bit of a slower fight. But with Colossus, it is pretty safe. It's just a matter of really not doing what I just did and trying to parry and heavy after the double medium. You really want to make sure that you're landing those parries and then, punishing after that. So this is certainly not a Colossus showcase. I got a little lucky with how Havok didn't feel like punishing me after a couple really bad decisions by myself. But, it works out. You can see, though, Colossus just very good for this fight. At this point, I'm just trying to heavy into a special 2 to end it. You see that I do it right there, and that was that. So that looked a lot cleaner than it actually was. It was a pretty sloppy fight, all things considered. But, Colossus got the job done. And so for this last fight in the war, I have Nick Fury once again. He'll be taking on Hitmonkey on node 55. So this has the best defense node, so if they have that increased chance to evade. Again, Hitmonkey's got a very, very low health pool. So I popped the combat regen just in case, because this node has brute force as well. Big thing that I want here is just to bait out special ones from Hitmonkey, because the special one's pretty easy to evade and pretty easy to punish. And then, so, this is the fight where he gets a little bit passive here. Doesn't feel like they're on a special one, but, this is my last fight of the war, so don't mind eating a little bit of brute force damage. I plan just not to knock him down, because when you knock him down, that's when he gets his monkey modes. So wasn't planning on dealing with any of that, just letting Nick Fury just do what Nick Fury does, and that's just melt people down with bleeds. So you can see, this fight's going pretty well. Nothing too crazy. Monkey is very punishing if he manages to land a hit, because he hits very hard. But you can see somehow, some way, did not get hit in that war, in that fight. So that's it for me. We did end up winning this war. So we're 3-0. I was 5-0 on the war, so that gets me up to 16 fights, just the 1 death, and a streak up to 10. Like I said, we did win 3-0, so that's really good. Hopefully we get some more of the same. Thanks for watching, and I will see everyone soon.